Okay, they're not sure if we're connected back again or not. Apologies about that, guys. We just had a bit of disconnection, and hopefully we should be back again without a problem. And as soon as we get the opportunity to get back into the session, we will be, as we're obviously just going to be connecting back in the game. All right, then the game will also not connect. Obviously, it's I've got a different internet, so just wait a second. We'll be back. We'll be catching up back with the racing action in a moment's time. Just bear with us, and in a few moments we'll be back with the racing action. Alright, apologies about that. I guess my mic was muted, so I was saying that we are about to get back in, but let's hope that we'll be about to back in, because by the looks of it, we dropped down, and it's stuck now on the joining screen. So let's see what is going to be happening here, because definitely it is interesting. Earlier on, we had the same internet for the stream and the for the game. Right now, we do have the same as well, but it'll be interesting to see also. I don't know if the stream is running in or not by the looks of it. Alright, it actually has chosen a wrong stream at the moment, because I guess the previous one stopped, so this one is going to be in. But let's try and join in again. If we can do that, great. But if we can't, so we will have an invite, I believe. If not, we may have somebody add us in earlier on. So hopefully we'll be getting up an invite soon, and that is brilliant, as we've got an invite. So hopefully the title's going to be wrong. I know that's going to be wrong, but obviously we're not in season 5, but we're in season 6, so we'll have to edit that later on. And fail to join the session. That is not the news we're looking to hear, but let's see if we can join in. Boy, come on, I don't want the movie. Yo, I don't want the movie. Let's get this in. Let's get this in. Otherwise, we will have to try and see what we can do at this point in time. We should be able to join. I hope we're able to join because already a lot of action, a lot of laps would have been missed out by now. And it is only right that we join in right now and join back in, because if we're not able to do that, that will be a it'll be a shame. I mean, honestly, first of all, we got disconnected and now the game doesn't want to let us in, which is interesting. So honestly, let's see what's exactly going to happen. But as yep. I mean, it's not letting us join in. Maybe we restart the game if we do that in. Maybe lets us join in. So let's do that. Let's do that quickly. Restart the game and then see if we are able to join again in, because that's probably the thing we can do right now, because obviously EA, you know, it is what it is. You can't do even anything about it, but by this point. So let's see what's gonna be happening here, and so once again, just a moment. Hopefully we'll be okay, and I might have to end the stream if we are not okay. Obviously, if we're okay, hopefully we'll be fine, and I'm hoping that we'll be fine, because we definitely want to catch up to the racing action soon. We obviously won't have any invite. We'll have to join this up through our friends, which is going to be pretty good, and it's actually a relief if you have somebody from PlayStation add you in, so you could join off them. But by the looks of it, we might not be able to join in here because it doesn't let us join in, and that would only mean one thing: we might have to call it the night. Unfortunately, not what we had originally planned, but if it doesn't let us join in, we possibly will have to let go of it. I wonder if we can join off somebody else. Days should be in one of the sessions, but nope, he's not showing up online, and definitely that would mean, unless we could join in off DJ here, otherwise we will have to call it a day. Yep, that is in, and that might be in just a second. I'd see if somebody can invite me from the boys, but if they can't, then we'll probably have to cut it off here, because by now possibly half the race would be done already. So yep, by the looks of it. I mean, obviously drivers, they aren't looking to invite me as well. In terms of, obviously they'll be racing, so they're like, obviously they want to race, they want to do their own thing by the looks of it. So it is now about only a matter of time. Let's give it one more go. We'll probably wait to see what we can do, but okay, let's see. This invites us join. Okay, we're gonna be joining, but eventually nothing happens. We've restarted the game. We've changed the internet, restarted the game, and just before the restart, it was just letting us at least be there. But now, right now, it's not even letting me be there. So even the joining session thing is not showing up. So that is pretty much is going to be over by the looks of it right now. So just one more time, maybe to. Okay, can we watch? Can we watch their game? Oh, interesting. We might be about to join the session now. That's great. I didn't know that happens. So if that does, that's. Oh, yep. We're connecting. And brilliant. Brilliant. That's great. That is great. We can hopefully join back in now, and at least if not one way or the other, we can get back in, and we're on our way to join in on this one so far. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly has happened in this race by the time we were gone. And over 11 laps have now passed. The track is damped in water, is damped in rain. And all these drivers are now on these intermediate compound tyres. Ooh, almost nearly. Tyrone loses there on the exit. And lap 11 out of 29. Both Haas drivers are now out. Conable is also out. Earlier on it was his teammate who lost out the car. So we're going to have a look at this. Yep. So now that is going to be interesting. I wonder if the game audio is... Yep, it is. It is available, so that's great news. Meanwhile, Tyrone in P1, Raichu in P2, over 16 seconds behind, so that is interesting. Raichu has jumped up over a couple of cars. Meanwhile, Ian is in P3 with Fino in P4. His teammates right behind, but he's lapped down in P13. Dees is in P5, but I doubt if it's him or it's his AI that is racing because he is ghosted, so that would certainly mean that it is his AI. Meanwhile, Evil is in P6 as well. P7 for Keela, and but P7 for Keela Miguel, P8 for him, and it's going to be P9 for him now, as Brendo will get past and get the overtake done. Meanwhile, Romero has retired out from the session, and I wonder if that's a crash or something has happened, as now Miguel and Miguel and Brendo are going to be there. Ryan, Special, and DJ are down in P10, 11, and 12 with one of the Sauber drivers retiring. No safety car coming out, and the only drivers that are within 1 second and possibly close to each other are these two. Meanwhile, Ryan in that Alpine, just right behind, is arriving close to these guys. And what is happening there? Brendo goes up to the grass, and that was interesting. He was just driving on the main straight and having a trip over to the grass, but he comes back out now, and he's sliding around, or is he? Because definitely the pressure is on. Be it for 8th place, they'd be fighting for it. They'd be giving it all, and in a race like this, even these much points are equal, and this is a whole damn track. I think it is interesting to see drivers are still being on that intermediate compound tyre, but if it stays like this, it might be time for full wets. It's not full wet damped, but still, water is out on track, and he nearly hits the wall on the inside there. Just about very close margins, and that's just barest of margins, you know, you have to be. Oh, there's going to be Majel at the back, and he nearly lost it on his own there. Not quite sure what happened, because it looked like he might have, when he tried to move left or right on the track, and that could have possibly resulted in him losing that car. Just getting the gain and the control back in no time, but that could have been a moment, and that could have been a scary one for them. Had they lost the car, they would have only found the wall and out of this one. We've already lost 3 out in this one at the start of the race, and possibly Conabel and Romero obviously just now, and Conabel possibly just when the rain came in. I don't think we saw them, and the virtual safety car is out, and not sure what exactly has happened, but we might have to find a driver who's got no front wing, because by the looks of it, somebody definitely has crashed out here and lost their front wing on the track, and it is Fino. Fino has lost out the front wing of his car, and that is a virtual safety car here at the moment. As conditions are, we might be seeing a full safety car, and I'd probably say we should see a full safety car here by the conditions, but ooh, he's going to go wide. He's going to go so wide and nearly avoids the barriers there. He's going to keep it on track to do what he can, but definitely that is now tricky, and he's going to be driving very fast, goes up straight into the wall, and that was bound to happen. The way he was driving without a front wing, he was never going to have the downforce to stop his car at that much speed, especially in rain, and that is going to be Fino losing in one more position to D's right now. Up to P4, and unless these drivers need to pit for these intermediate tyres, I don't think they'd be pitting in again by the looks of it, unless they do want to, or they do have to. Meanwhile, Fino's again going to be going towards the wall, and now he's just put it in the wall purposely, and possibly even on the previous one. Now I know that he might have just tried to put it purposely in the wall, which he has just done now, and exited it. Another driver out of the session, and that's our fourth. Both the Kick Sauber drivers are out of the session. We're nearly halfway distance now into this race, and 4 drivers are out of this one as Brendo comes into the pits for possibly a brand new set of intermediate compound tyre, as he's going to be losing up a couple of positions. Ryan is in as well, so possibly now if they're going to pit for a set of inters, they should be coming up to the end of the race. Indeed, and he might not come into the pits for a set of tyres. That is interesting. He's definitely came in for a set of pit stop for a penalty payment, and has that penalty been paid? Possibly, yes. He's got a 3-second time penalty, but definitely those 10 seconds or a drive-through, which he could have possibly got, which I believe was going to be a 10-second time penalty while entering the pits, while speeding in the pit lane, and he would have just paid that. Same would have been the case for maybe Ran as well, who now is penalty-free as well. Oh, nearly makes contact with the wall. 6 seconds to special, 3 seconds to evil as well. Both McLaren drivers with penalties. Drive-through to Raichu. 3 seconds to Tyron. It's a drive-through penalty to Raichu, and that is almost an automatic ticket for Ian for a P2 finish here, considering how the RB drivers qualified. Sure, special's down in P8, but VDR is in P3. Raichu in P2, obviously. He's running in P2 over 6.2 seconds to the next car behind him, and over 13 seconds, almost 14, to the car in front. And he's got a drive-through penalty, so he's going to be coming into the pit lane anytime soon. And that is going to be an interesting thing to watch out as well so far here. So this goes a little bit wide as Raichu comes back out on the track. And definitely, if we're keeping our eyes on these drivers, we might not be looking at every driver, but they might be making more mistakes than we know, and by the looks of it, Tyron's going to be coming into the pits or something. No, he's not going to be coming into the pits. One of the McLaren is, and that's Brando, so he's going to get a trip to the gravel himself, as Tyron now gets another 3-second time penalty. Raichu's in the pits, and as he might be in for a penalty payment as well. He's here there to pay the penalty. I mean, I say the penalty payment, it's just like, it's not a payment, but simply they're paying the penalty. You know, they come in and serving their penalty. That is what I should be saying. And there we go. He served up his penalty as well, and back out in P3. That is a brilliant one for him, to be fair. He's paid his served his penalty, and he's up into P3 now. 7.7 seconds for the next car, so maybe he could even catch up to Ian. To him, if he's got enough speed there. I mean, well, D's over 10 places up. Ian over 8 places up. And both on similar lap of tyres, 13 lap and 12 laps for both of them on those inters, but still, possible chance could be on the way for a, for a position, and they've got a 3-second time penalty, not when they just pitted to serve a penalty, and this is what they would not want at all, as obviously Tyron's definitely much clearer. He's over 22 seconds ahead of the next car, so over 22 seconds are far up ahead up the road, and that is going to be interesting to get on. So, as much is going to be on the way. Lap 17 out of 29. Raichu nearly crashes out, or maybe makes contact as we are here. So look at this, lap 17 out of 29, as we say. Our leader's just going to be, our leader is in lap 17. Raichu's going to be going into lap 17 now, and it is far much of a gap. Maybe you would have thought that there's going to be drivers closer racing, and now Brando has crashed out as well, and that will mean that he is another driver that we're going to lose. He's continuing on, so I wonder if he's crashed and his car and AI continues on, or he is simply now retired by his own will in the pit lane, and the car exited the pits there. So that is now interesting to see by the looks of it, as another car we've lost out, as no safety car. The safety car might be turned off here, because by the looks of it, You know, we've had a couple of crashes, we've had a couple of incidents, but no safety car has came out. So that only indicates the safety car is turned off here. That's why it doesn't show up. That's why it doesn't appear, and really get in. And now these drivers are coming into the pit lanes. Aquila is going to get a set of new intermediate tires as well. Only a couple of drivers now on those new inters. Days Evil with Aquila as well as our leader and top three at least are still on those older tires and are continuing on. They could possibly go to the end on these tires, which depending on how good it feels and how it is going to be. There is drivers out on track. There is drivers within close range of each other, but that is lapped cars, not drivers racing each other. Possibly Killer and Special are closer to each other, but that is over 1.9 seconds as well. So the gaps there are, we're calling 1.9 and 1.8 seconds closer to one another, you could imagine. So yeah, as I said, you know, it's raining and pretty much everyone's on their own. Maybe such rainy conditions, sometimes they provide great racing. Sometimes you think that, you know, drivers who maybe are not as quick as they could be or as competitive as they can be in the dry conditions do get competitiveness in the rain. But as it stands, possibly drivers are pretty much, they're doing their job, they're doing their on their own, but not much, you know, all together. Meanwhile, these guys might be doing that here as Miguel is now just about 5 tenths right ahead of Special, which is going to be over 9 tenths now, and he's going to get out of the way to not give any slipstream to Oliver there behind, because that is going to be helping in rainy conditions where DRS is not enabled and it is disabled. It is the slipstream along with the ERS which helps the car behind to catch up to you, and by the looks of it, these guys are going to be on the way. Over 10 laps still remain. Over 10 laps are still on the way, and we are yet to see an overtake. We're yet to see some action out on track. Apart, I mean, unless a full safety car happens here, there's not much the grid can do to catch up to each other, despite apart from the fact that Miguel, Special and Killer are about to catch up to each other, and Killer is not far behind those guys in the RB and Red Bull. 1.1 seconds now, and Special is over now 1 second to Miguel as well, and now he's losing out to Killer here, because you know that Killer is very closer for a possible overtake, for a possible chance of racing here between these drivers. Meanwhile, you would have thought Special has lost out to Miguel, but he hasn't lost out to Miguel at all. He is there now, and they're going to be almost within 1 second once again of each other. Possibly Special's not going for it, I'd say, and he might just go for it about now. They're within 6 tenths, and I think unless they over like just within 3 tenths of each other, I don't think he's going to be going for it, because, you know, he's going to be like, okay, I'm going to, you know, just stay behind for as much as I can and possibly aim for a P2 finish here. Sorry, not P2, the other P6 that will be, as it's the other Red Bull and RB for a P2 and 3 they're fighting for. So, you know, considering the next car over 8.8 seconds from here, so a P5 or P6 finish is still a decent position, and he could get in. I mean, he's still behind. Also, he's not gaining much as well, especially around this straight. The gap is over 3 tenths. There might be an opportunity for Special to get here, as we were about to say that he's not gaining much. We might have been wrong, as he is gaining a lot here still, but it's not enough for him to get it on. Meanwhile, our race leader has gone over 25 seconds to the next car now. 25.6 seconds Styron ahead of ETR in P2, with Raichu in P3, followed by D's, Evil in P4, with Miguel and Special in P6 and 7, and Killer in P8, with Ryan and DJ for Alpine in P9 and 10. Nearly the whole grid has penalties here, as Ian has now got a penalty as well. So that means that he would not want to lose the time to Raichu now, position to Raichu now, because earlier on it would have been in his favour, but now he's got the penalty. So that means that is going to go against him. Everybody the 3-second time penalty, apart from Special and Tyron, who have got both 6 seconds of time penalties here. And two drivers, D's, which it was AI is racing, and Miguel, who's in P6, hasn't got a penalty as well. Now the ending laps, the ending couple of laps here, that's still gonna be interesting to see. We're looking for action. We're looking to see some cars go racing, and we might be about to see that as Killer's gonna go around the outside, almost in a desperate attempt to get ahead of Special. Nearly lost his car there because he was almost making contact with the wall. You would have thought that he's going to be going for it. Almost he was there and about to go for it, but I feel like he just backed out of him, backed out behind him, and by the time he backed out, he nearly would have made contact with the wall or even to the gearbox of Special's car as well. That could have been pretty nasty had he not got it in control. And now definitely you could say that these guys are dropping behind, because first it was Miguel and Special, and then Killer came in, and now Ryan in the Alpine is catching up to these guys as well. So it is all happening at this point. It is all happening, and at this time, at this rate in time. Going to be an opportunity for him once more, and this time around I'm sure he's going to try and take it up. Will he be able to do that? though? He's going to go for it on the lunge on the inside line, and that's a desperate attempt to make the move, and that was never going to work for Killer there. He tried to go for it from a long way back, and that was not going to work, especially in these conditions. And rain might have stopped now. The dry line is forming up, but still it's not dry enough, to say the least. As sure, these guys are on a bit of newer tyres, but in fact, Killer's on newer tyres. These guys are on older tyres, but still, going for such a move was such an irresponsible thing. But now, Special's going to be able to do the job done, because definitely, Killer didn't do, if he might not have done much for himself, but he would have done it for Special, as he made contact with Magella as well, and slowed both of them down, and that allowed Special to get past and make the overtake, which he was waiting for, which he was unable to make the last couple of laps. And meanwhile here, at the back front of the field, Raichu has caught up to the RP as well. One over RP overtakes the Red Bull. The other Red Bull overtakes the RP, or it is at least about to, by the stance of it so far here. Raichu will be going for it, and definitely both of them having the 3-second time penalty would not matter for any of them. Whoever finishes up ahead on track will be doing that, unless one of them gets a 6-second, another 3-second time penalty, which they would not like at all, and would only mean that they don't like it, that rather hate it, as at least now they'll be going up to the main straight. Our leader is over 26 seconds up at the front, 5 tenths between Raichu and VTR now heading towards turn 1. Is there going to be an opportunity for the Red Bull driver? Yes, there will be. He's going to go for it on the outside line, but just about not enough to make the move or make it count. At this point, he's unable to do that, and he won't be able to do that just now. Rather, he'll try and get another opportunity, Meanwhile, Special is moving away from Miguel, and Tyron is about to lap these guys, which is interesting to see. Meanwhile, Killer, who made a desperate attempt for an overtake into P6, is now going to be in a bit of trouble from Ryan, who's just about 6 tenths behind him. So these guys could be going side by side in a couple of laps as well. Meanwhile, VDR is just about pulling away a little bit here from Raichu, because Raichu is just about 3 tenths away, and a possible overtake for the Red Bull could be on the way. But this could be interesting, because one of them makes a mistake here and the other takes the position. Either BTR makes a huge mistake, so Raichu's going to take a position, or Raichu makes a mistake and he loses it on his own as the Red Bull driver sends it in, and that might have been a bit of tap on the back back of the RB, and very wide goes VTR, and that's going to be a mistake done by VTR. Exactly what we were talking about, and he just does it. It was almost, he predicted the future there, and he just made a little bit of a mistake, ran a little bit wide, and allowed Raichu to get through. Then Raichu does get past him. He might have not got the move fully done here, but at least he got the overtake for the moment. Meanwhile, Killer will be on the way to overtake and get ahead of Special now, and Special has lost out the position here. Not sure what is going on, but the opportunity will be on the way for him to take it back. Meanwhile, one of the drivers is on a set of soft compound tires, and that is Miguel in the Red Bull. That's an interesting choice to go on a set of soft compound tires in this weather where not many laps are remaining. Sure, the dry tire line might have formed up, but still those tires are not going to warm up. Those tires are not going to have enough temperature for him to give him enough grip for a possible soft tire, chance. Meanwhile, at the back, Special might just get the opportunity once more. Raichu has been trying. Raichu has been going after him once more. He might get him about now around the outside. Will there be an opportunity? Or he just has to back out and doesn't want to go for it right here, and he does indeed not go for it right here as it stands, as he just simply backs out of it. Possibly he will be going for it around here, and he will be doing that indeed around the outside. Switches up to the outside line. Who's going to be later on the brakes though? Both of them are not willing to back out. Raichu's going to be around the outside, pushed a little bit wide, comes back out on the track. Weedia's going to be up ahead of him. They're going to be wheel to wheel once again. They're still there with each other, and is Raichu going to go for on the inside lane? Yes, he will, into the final corner. They're going to make contact. Nearly spins out Raichu, but he's still going to be there, and not sure what happened. Raichu's ghosted here, and he's got back on, pushed a little bit wide, almost onto the grass, but they're going to be back again as Raichu's going to be up ahead, and overtake has been done into turn 1. And the race is just coming alive here. Then the race is just happening here at this point, and you could already see as Killer is going to be on the way to be as surely would have thought that it is him, but it is Tyron overlapping these guys. Meanwhile, Killer will be getting out of the way of Special here by the looks of it, because not sure why everybody seems to be ghosted, but that is because I believe these guys are lapped, or at least are about to get lapped by the race leader, so that's the reason they are ghosted here, for the race leader to get past. Oh, nearly loses it. A little bit of a mistake on the exit, and definitely those tires are now screaming for Special on 21 laps on those, and couple of them did 3 stops, and right goes Killer. Will be an opportunity for Ian to get him on the main straight, or he might not be able to get him on the main straight. Rather, Ian will, Special will be in a bit of pressure now, even from the Alpine here by the looks of it, as the Alpine driver does a nice job here to get some slipstream off the Mercedes car, but by the looks of it, yes indeed, Ian might be in a bit of pressure, rather just not now though. And VTR has lost out after going wheel to wheel with Raichu, and over 2.1 seconds between the two. And it comes down to penalty. Over 22 seconds, so definitely he's not going to be stopped from that P3. He'll be taking that, but it's about what's going to be happening here in lap 26 out of 29 now, so not a lot remains, and only 2 cars. Miguel now back out on track and on a set of intermediate compound tires. It was interesting to see. I mean, it was even an odd choice. It was either going to be a make or break it. If it was going to work, it was going to be rapid. If it wasn't, it was not going to work, and definitely was not going to work in such conditions where water is still out on track. The racing line might be dry, but the temperature's not there. In these cooler conditions, the temperature, it needs to be there in these tires, obviously in the slick compound, for the drivers to have enough grip, drivers to have, for you to at least have enough grip for you to feel on that soft compound tire. Even if you have that temperature in those tires, if the surface is wet, and or if there's some bit of moisture in this raining weather on that surface, you'd still not be able to get enough grip. You'll still not be able to get the grip that you need, the desired grip, for the drivers to really drive at the expected speed here, as the Mercedes, as Special is into the pits. He's very late in the pits. I wonder what he's going to be doing. 22 laps on those intermediate compound tires. Possible another set of inters now on, or rather that's a set of medium compound tires on, or maybe the track is now ready. Possibly, maybe he wasn't ready when you know, let's say Mugello pitted for a set of soft compound tires, but it might be ready now. But or is it ready? Because this is going to be interesting to see now. Meanwhile, DJ is into the pits as well, and no, already he goes very wide and up into the grass. Definitely, he's not going to be having that grip about here. Maybe. If he does another lap, only then we'll know whether if he's got it or not. And now again heading towards the right-hander at the end of the first. DRS Ray goes wide once more, and definitely it's the grip. It's the grip on that, you know, slick compound tire. The temperature, exactly, we shall say that. Sure, the track might be dry, but the temperature will not be enough in those, you know, slick compound tires for them to do a better job. And look at that, he nearly gets his corner nice and easy, but at a very, very risky stop. And Dees is out on a set of you know, mediums as well, but the AI on a set of mediums there. So now not much remains now as we're about to get to the end of this Grand Prix. Lap 27 out of 29 as our race leader is already going to be over the line to make it into lap 28, I believe. Yes, it will be. So about 2 more laps remain, including this one. They're going to continue on, and exactly, you know, if you are on the tyres in these remaining laps, you're going to continue on whatever tyre you're on. Pitting in might not be the best choice. Even if it works out, he's got over 27 seconds to the next car. So, you know, you're never going to make those in these remaining laps. So he's going to continue on, probably simply because he has pitted, so he's still going to make the use of it. And by the looks of it, Killer is going to come out now. And not sure why there's a yellow flag. He's going to come out on those medium compound tires as well. And that is very odd choice from VTR. And that might just mean that, okay, that's not an odd choice, considering he's got 5 seconds for the next car. But getting a set of hard compound tire might be odd choice here. Because trying to warm that tyre up, it's going to be ages, and by the tyre warms up, the race will be over. That's for sure, because maybe you're going to be able to warm up the medium tyre or even the you know, soft tyre, but pretty tricky. That was going to be very tricky, and in fact, there is more drivers. That's obviously Killer, Special, and DJ on the set of slick compound tyres. Maybe even the DRS gets enabled in a little bit, and by the looks of it, track about seems to be almost dry now, but obviously that is at the very end of the end of this one, at the very end of the race, and our race leader is just going to be moving into the final lap of the Grand Prix, over 20.7 seconds to the next car with Raichu in P2, VTR in P3. He's got over 30 seconds to the next car, so he's possibly you know, he's least to worry about being on those tires. That's a Special who was already probably fighting for P5, P6, coming into sort of slick tires now, jump down to P9. So maybe you would have, okay, you know, just experimented, whether if it doesn't work out, okay, you know, there isn't much to lose, but if it works out, that's a brilliant job. So it stands out what, you know, what could possibly have been going and what has been going about now, as VTR gets a 30-second time penalty. A lot of drivers have penalties. Everyone has penalties apart from Miguel and D. So let's see what's going to be happening, because definitely those positions are going to be switching. The gaps are a lot, so I'm not sure whether actually, you know, even these 6 seconds or 3-second penalties will be enough for position switches, or you know, about left or right, or you know, up and down over the grid. But it's still going to be a thing to look out, and we might just, maybe not a lot, but still we will see somewhat switchings of the around the grid there. So let's see. As right, it's going to be Tyrant now, the man who left the final race last season as a champion, is going to continue on to win race 1 at season 6, and Tyrant wins the Australian Grand Prix with Raichu in P2, and now had VDR not pitted, he would have been testing that P2 as Raichu makes contact with the walls, and he is just tumbling down towards the straight, and definitely the track is bone dry, and he is very much struggling to keep it out on track, and over the line, comes home to finish in 2nd place, takes the checkered flag, or doesn't he? Does he take the checkered flag or not here? Okay, yes, he definitely does. It didn't update later enough, early enough, as P3 is going to go over to VTR. One RP at the bottom, the other at the front in P3. A podium for the Racing Bulls team with Evil in P4 so far. 13 seconds, and he's got just a 3-second time penalty, so maybe Deez's car is just going to be able to jump him, and that is going to be over, ladies and gentlemen. The end of the Australian Grand Prix with rain-filled racing. There was some parts, it was decent racing, it was brilliant racing, but mixed with boring and stuff. And interesting to see, as now this is it, and we are just coming to an end of the Grand Prix here with this one. Tyrone, brilliant victory for them once more as fastest lap race winner. Most overtakes for EDR. Cleanest driver was Midell, finishing down in P9, I believe, or rather P8 actually. That is for them. So many penalties for drivers, especially Australia. Sure, it gets you penalties, but maybe not this many. So this is going to be your race result, ladies and gentlemen. Tyrone wins ahead of everybody. Started first, finishes first. Raitu started fourth, finishes P2 in second place. ETR has to be the driver of the day for sure. Started over down in P10 and finishes in P2. So well done to VTR for a podium. Evil in P4. Deez Scar in P5 with Ryan in P6, followed by Killer in P7. They started P11 as well, so decent job to them as well, with Mujel in P8. With the special in P9, and just completing at the top 10 will be DJ in the Alpine. And now this outside, and all those who DNF'd, only 10 drivers finished, so interesting to see that. With Fino, Romero, Conabel, and Archie all unable to finish, and were not able to make the mark at all. So that's going to be coming up to the end, ladies and gentlemen, and it was myself, Zabi, here, providing you all the fantastic action, and from all of us here at New Age Championship, it's a goodbye.